Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Speak That Talks. My name is Tiara Tucker, and I am the founder and CEO of Speak That Movement, which is a nonprofit organization where we have been focusing on women empowerment, mental health, social justice, and girl empowerment so that we can equip and empower our future generation. We are live inside of the brand new Tiara PR Network headquarters in North Dallas because we want to do a pop-up so that we can address Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, which is taking place right now during the month of July. So we have an incredible lineup today for you. We're totally live. So as you know, we love interaction. So I want to see in the comments, let us know, what's your name? What city are you representing? What organization are you representing? Because we love to have all of you a part of our events. So before we get started, join me for a tour of the headquarters as we enter into the event room. All righty. So this is the Tiara PR Network headquarters lobby. But right here, I'm very excited to introduce you to this new room. Some of you have been here before, others have not. But this is the Speak That Movement National Headquarters and Boutique. So this room is located inside of the headquarters, but we wanted to have a safe space where people that are part of the Speak That Movement organization, people that are a part of the community can come in and feel equipped and empowered and also have an opportunity to give back. So I just want to show you this beautiful artwork that represents the 4 pillars of Speak That Movement: dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. Shout out to Miss Jess Alexander of Rockford, who created this artwork to help us show our vision to the rest of the community. So we have a boutique over here. You can find all these items on speakthatmovement.com. We also have an area over here where volunteers can come here and work on community service projects. So, if you are interested in being a member of Speak That Movement and being a volunteer, we are in need of even more people to help us make an impact, not just in Dallas, but throughout the United States of America. We have members in Illinois. Shout out to you, our board member, Miss Lanita out there. We have members Karen Wilson in Peoria, Illinois, Geraldine, family and friends all over the country. So we want to thank you all, but we need more members. We have a lot to do in 2023, and we cannot do it without you. So come on, we're about to get started. So we'll give you a tour later of the other rooms within the Speak That Movement area. But right now, let's get ready for the Minority Mental Health Awareness Month Mixer. Sneak peek, the Tiara Tucker Network headquarters VIP lounge. We have some special guests back there who are just here to check everything out. Break House Lounge for those who need a mental health break. The C-Suite Meeting Room. The Speak That Studios. And now welcome as we enter into the Community Center. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for this pop-up experience. We wanted to take the moment to pause. We wanted to address Mental Health Awareness Month for minorities in particular, even though what you're going to hear today will apply to everybody. So to make today special, we're going to do a little something here. We're going to have our Speak That Talks, which you are a part of right now, Speak That Talks. We're also going to focus on the mental health address and tips from no one other than my soror of Delta Sigma Theta, Miss Torie Williams, who's a mental health advocate who is in the building to share her mental health address. We also will have a special Speak Their Stories update. Some of you may have followed Speak Their Stories, but we have a special update with the mother of Torie Robertson, Miss Arleen Robertson, who is joining us live from Houston, Texas today. We also have our volunteer drive. As I mentioned, we are in need of more volunteers. There's so much work to do. You all may have even heard that we have a new CEO and president of the Rainbow Push Coalition, Dr. Freddie Haynes, who is a huge supporter of our movement. He is also in Dallas, and we want to help his organization and so many other organizations make a difference. So we need our volunteers. Also, we have some giveaways. So without further ado, again, let me know, what city are you representing? Put your name in the comments. Let me know. What do we have? Miss Karen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello from Peoria, Illinois. Who else do we have out there? Hello, Mel, representing Dallas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else do we have out there? Jackie Davis. Hello, Atlanta in the building. We love Atlanta. And who else do we have? We're going to do one more. What's up, D King? Oh, what's up, representing Chi-Town? So happy to see you on. All right, y'all. So let's get started. If you know anybody else that you think will want to tune in, do me a favor, send them the link. We're live on the Speak That Movement page on YouTube, as well as the Speak That Movement page on Facebook. Tell them to come on, because we're about to get started. So I want to welcome our first guest virtually to the Speak That Talks platform. So I want to give a little background before I bring her to the stage. So a couple of years ago, a vision was dropped from the heavens to help to tell the stories of women who are impacted by social injustices and mental health. So I decided to create a project called Speak Their Stories. Speak Their Stories tells the story of women such as the mother of Torie Robertson, Miss Arleen, as well as Torie's sister, India Robertson. So we created this project. Shout out to the Speak Their Stories team that helped make this happen. Shout out to Tiara Tucker, my cousin, who helped co-produce the video. So help me welcome Miss Arleen Robertson so that we can give an update on Speak Their Stories. Hello, hello, Arleen. How you doing today? Go ahead and unmute so we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Glad to be a part of this.
So happy to have you. So people may be wondering, what am I doing with this hat on during a live? But now they can see why. So
Yes.
tell everybody about the hats that we're wearing today.
So my hat represents, it has the broken heart. It doesn't mean, well, you guys know, if you know my story about Devira, our heart is broken, literally, but Devira has so much love for people and for his children, until he has so much love, and the heart represents his love pouring out through the opening where it is broken at. His heart represents that. So, and bleak mode is, if you in bleak mode, you the happiest, in the happiest place you could ever be, because he was a very happy person, always laughing and joking about everything.
Yes. Wow. So it's an honor to have you on, because it's been a little while since you were on a Speak That Talks, but I wanted to bring you back on because we want to hear from you. So a couple of years ago, Torie Robertson, your son, was murdered outside of New Orleans when he was an unarmed passenger in a vehicle. They were outside an IHOP, and you got that dreadful call that no one in a lifetime would ever want to receive. Do you mind telling us just a little bit about how that impacted you mentally and emotionally?
Okay, when I got the call, it was early morning, like about 9 o'clock. Someone called and said, I think Devira got killed last night. And I was like, what? So I was like, what? I just started screaming and screaming. And so I hung the phone up and I called my son. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. So then my daughter called me and she was like, Mama. And we just started screaming and howling. And it was horrible to hear that. Like, because I had just sent him a picture of a truck, because you know I like to cook. I sent him a picture of a truck that I wanted to get, and I was waiting on him to answer, but I never got an answer, because the next morning that's what took place. They said he had got shot in the IHOP parking lot.
Sorry to hear about that. Definitely, our hearts pour out to you and your entire family. So that took place a couple of years ago. And anybody who wants to see the full story, speak their stories, please go to the Speak That Movement page on YouTube, where you can see the Speak Their Stories, where we actually interviewed Miss Arleen as well as your daughter India, and you were able to tell your story. Not only was your story emotional, your story was empowering. Your story was inspiring as well. So give us an update. What is the latest news with Torie Robertson's case?
So in March, he had a hearing, and I went to New Orleans for the hearing. Everybody was saying, Mom, that's not for the family to go. That's just for the lawyers. That's, you don't need to go. I said, I want to be involved in every aspect of this. So we went down, and the lawyer asked a lot of good questions to the it was a 3-panel judge, and all of the attorneys were there. Well, if you know Devira had four children, different mothers. So we all just about had different attorneys. So anyways, they were all there, and they asked the perfect questions. So I thought it was like, oh my God, this is kind of like a win-win. So little did I know, that was in March of this year. And just June the 26th, we got the answer with the ruling that said they gave the police qualified immunity. Oh my God, that was the worst thing I could have ever heard. I was like, I had been learning about these different words with the law and stuff. And when I heard that, because I'm with an organization and that's what they're working on, trying to get that ended. And when I heard that, Oh my God, I could not do nothing but scream and holler and scream. I was like, wow, what is this? After listening to that whole case with the lawyers and the judges, and it sounded like it was a done deal. And for them to come back with that, man, that hit me like it just happened. It just happened.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, do you mind sharing what exactly does that mean? What does that mean for the case?
Well, for the case, it means that they are not liable for shooting or killing DeVary. So they're not responsible.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Sorry to hear that. As everybody knows who is familiar with the case, it was very clear that he was an unarmed passenger. And like many of our Black men, they do not deserve to die. And we see so many times where the officers who committed the crimes that are impacting the lives of families and communities get off the hook. So right now, you're moving forward. You're still looking at things from the civil rights side. But may I ask, what can people do if they want to learn more about you and if they want to support you?
Okay, I have a GoFundMe page in the viral Shiners Robertson name. It's on my page, my Facebook page, Arleen Robertson, ARLEEN Robertson, ROBERTSON. And you just click on it and you can read the story about what we're doing with the funds. And you can, you can donate whatever you want. Nothing is too small. I appreciate whatever, because with the monies we will be doing different stuff for justice, like going to the DOJ and going to Washington in September, going to Baton Rouge, going back and forth to New Orleans. It takes money to do all of that. So I appreciate if y'all could, help out, and appreciate it.
Yes.
But I want to tell you guys that the attorney filed a motion to reconsider. So I need prayers for that. We're waiting for an answer for that. Hopefully that they want to consider and listen to it again, because I believe it's a cover-up. We didn't have no videos like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and them had videos on TV. We had videos, but they said they couldn't use them. It was just videos that people took with their phones and was just saying they was there, but we don't know who the people are. So.
Okay. Wow. Well, again, our hearts go out to you. And on behalf of Speak That Movement and everybody out here listening, we want to let you know that you will remain in our prayers. We will continue to be a part of your support system in your tribe. And as you mentioned before, we do have the broken heart, but any prayer, any level of support helps mend the heart one piece at a time. Miss Arleen, we love you. We appreciate you. Everybody go follow her on social media. Check out Speak Their Stories, and we'll be hearing another update from you in the future, Miss Arleen. Take care.
Thank you so much. Love.
All right, you all just heard the live update from Mr. DeVary Robertson's mother, Arleen. So as we know, when it comes to the Black community and the minorities, police brutality and the injustice that we experience, crazy, at an all-time crazy high. And it definitely impacts mental health. So right now, I am really honored to transition over to the next portion of today's mixer. I have an incredible keynote speaker with us, my sorority sister of Delta Sigma Theta, Dr. Torie Williams. She's going to come up here. She's going to give you a mental health address. She's going to also provide you with some tips. So no matter what you're going through right now in life, just know that there's hope. And we have people like Dr. Torie who's going to help you get through it. So we'll pause, take a quick break, tell some people to join on, and we'll be up with Dr. Torie Williams.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Torie Williams. I am here to talk about our mental health and the fact that it is July. July, we actually address minority mental health. That's all of us. And we call it, and it has a hashtag, BIOPIC, BIOPIC. That's Black, Indigenous, People of Color. That's all of us. And we need to do what we need to do to educate ourselves. So I came up with a little snippet of some things to get you guys and give you some tips on what to do in order to address your mental health. And so I will tell you this is something that we can be doing in our communities. You do not have to be in any different space, but have these conversations, because the problem is we normalize this in our communities. I love our people, I really do. But we normalize some things that really shouldn't be normalized. And so with these tips that I'm giving you, I think this is something that we all can do, because again, we don't do what we're supposed to do to address our mental health. And when it becomes an issue, we find out and it's actually a little bit too late. So I'll let you guys know about a few tips. The first one that I actually put down is educate others. The second one is starting the conversation. That's what we're doing now. Organize wellness events. So again, thank you, Tiara, and your PR network for having me so we can have this discussion about mental health. To advocate for the creation of the safe spaces. And I'll get into all of this a little later. But the last but not least is seeking support. So when it comes to starting the communication, sometimes just speaking up about mental health will encourage others to share their experiences and concerns. I know I get on my friends' nerves, but let's be clear. I am an advocate for adverse childhood experiences. And for those who do not know, please go visit. I have tons of information. I have podcasts. I have things everywhere to address adverse childhood experiences. We call it childhood trauma, and it is. It's the same. But if we don't know what those things are, we won't be able to address them, because they actually have an impact on us for the rest of our lives. So I've spent a life journey just sharing my story about the experience that I experienced when I was younger, to gather clarity and understanding for people to understand their adverse childhood experiences. So I'm out there, you guys. I'm working with a bunch of people. I think what we need to do is go ahead and collaborate a lot more and have these conversations, because again, it's so many issues that are happening that they're not doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to ER. So I'll give you an example. I was talking to a few nurses who were saying that the ERs are very busy because you have the homeless people, you have the youth, you have so many people that are there looking for and seeking mental health. They just don't have enough funding. And so what are we doing? We're the ones that's suffering, because we're the ones that's not going out and actually getting this information. We're just sitting here. We see that things are happening to our family. We see things that are happening to our friends, but we're not really having that conversation. So I think if we just had a conversation about mental health in its entity and just say, okay, these are the things that's happening. You want to talk? Okay, that's understandable. I also want us to know, I love us family, but talking to your friends and family is not really addressing your mental health. It's good to spark the conversation, but of course, seeking mental health seeking help could be anything. And so I always encourage people that ask me, well, what do I do? You have so many other things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to sit on a couch and tell your business, because that's not really what it is. But there's yoga, there's art, there is cooking, there's all kind of therapy out here. It really just depends on you and your strength and what you know can benefit you to help you in times of need. I love music, always have been. I don't have a different genre, trust me. I love all kinds of music, but music is therapy for me and it helps me tremendously. So again, just knowing the things that you need to know and having these conversations, you'll be fine. Okay, so you're in your community. You got to talk about why it's important to create spaces that are welcoming and inclusive for people with mental health challenges. So I will share this with you. What I have learned since I have been in the Dallas area, we're not doing that. We're not having that conversation. We just opened up. Remember, we were all just in a pandemic a couple of years ago. That pandemic isn't over. The pandemic is still here. We still have to create those spaces. So if it's schools, if it's churches, if it's sitting at home at your table, whatever it is, you have to create those spaces for people to have those conversations, because we're not having those. And just having the conversation will help so much. Ever since I've been talking about adverse childhood experiences, I'm telling you, I have to shout out my mentees out there that have created those spaces and came up with their own programs and doing that, because the more the merrier. I'm here to help. So if that's what we need to do in order to get that information out there, to let people know that adverse childhood experiences are real, or mental health, period, we have to address the things that we need to do in order to not just help ourselves, but to help others. Organized wellness events. Now, I got to shout out my organization, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We actually have in our 5-point thrust, we have educational development, international awareness and involvement, but we do those physical and mental health events. We have to. You don't have to be in an organization to do it. No. I just wanted to give a reference to Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated because it's mandatory for us to do it. So I'm used to doing community service events and things of that nature, and it's not really hard to do. If you can get a group of people and let them know exactly what it is you need to do, you can do it at a community center, you can do it at your church, you can do it in different types of environments. You don't necessarily have to be in a school, but it would be good to have some type of advocate in school. I'll give you a story. When I was a director of, what did I do? I was a director. Oh, they're gonna be so upset. I was over at Thornridge High School. Don't get mad at me, you guys. I was over activities. And when students will come to me and say, hey, I would like to do this event, the more the merrier. So of course I supported them if they had people that were with them wanting to do these things. And so once you have more people that are able to come and join together, I think you'll be able to gather a better understanding of exactly what you're trying to do. People will support you, especially when they know it's something near and dear. I always tell people to share their story. Now, I share my story about adverse child experiences because it's my story. However, your story is your story. And I always tell people to share their story because there are other people that have the same story. You won't know until you actually open your mouth and have that conversation and know that you're not alone. There are a lot of people out there that have been struggling with mental health, from physical abuse to emotional abuse, emotional neglect, to household dysfunction, community violence. We have community violence that is out here all the time. And let's be clear, it is not exclusive, you guys. When you go these young men and women are going into these schools and they're shooting, that's community violence, and it has had an impact on our students. So you're looking at not just addressing mental health, period, but just having that conversation. Thank you, Bobby. It's really needed to have this conversation because we need to continue to educate others about this. And like I said before, whether it's a community center, a spiritual gathering place, a school, advocates, it does not matter. Take time out to do it because you can save someone's life. I don't think I signed up for this, but because it was near and dear to my heart, it was something that I really, really wanted to do. So I have to shout out somebody very special. I do have my mom in the building, and I advocate for her. People may not know, but that generational trauma is real. And I love my mom and I love my dad to death. However, the experience that they experienced weren't mine. And so I can't take that on and do that for my kids. Hey kids, look, I have kids that are coming on talking about, hey mama, hey y'all. This is what I'm doing. I have to do it for them, and not only for the ones that are saying, hey mama, but for my own kids as well, because it's important. We have to be out here to address not only generational trauma, not only community awareness, but to also have that conversation to be a cycle breaker and to address our mental health. Seeking support. Now, let's have this conversation because I talk to a lot of people all the time. And I know us, we don't want to go and talk to a therapist because we think it's like confessing and things of that nature. Seeking support does not necessarily mean that you have to sit in front of a therapist and tell all your business. Seeking support is talking to somebody. Seeking support is I'm always going to say art. My children have their own different talents, but I know my youngest daughter loves to play. She loves everything. She loves to stay involved. That's her therapy. I have another daughter that loves to draw. That's her therapy. Now, you can talk about TikTok all you want, but TikTok is in, and all those dances that everybody is doing, it's therapy. You do what you need to do in order to help yourself. Self-care is the best care. And I think that is all, you guys. So if you have any questions or concerns, you can always join me at VicTORIEus.com. I pretty much do a lot. I love talking about adverse childhood experiences because it's something that we don't get a chance to talk about. It is on the CDC's website. It is also on my website. But this is something that the CDC addresses all the time, and we don't have that conversation because we want to make mental health normal, but there's no normalcy as far as mental health is concerned. We really need to have these discussions, and if I have to do this as much as possible, I'm going to do exactly that because we need to have those conversations. I thank you again for having me here. You can find me on Instagram as in Dr. VicTORIEus. You can find me on Facebook as Dr. VicTORIEus. Again, if you have any questions about mental health, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, yes. Everybody give it up, give it up, give it up. For my soror, Dr. Torie Williams.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
this was amazing.
Yes.
But we have a few questions out there. I want to address the questions.
Okay.
We had a question from someone. She wanted you to teach us how to ask for help.
Interesting.
So if we can pull that question back
And I
up.
love that because people don't know how to do that. And so just to give you a little bit of background, I am an educator. I have my doctorate in education. This is actually really what I do. I educate. So I would say, as far as teaching, go and do your research on your own. So I'll give you an example. The CDC.gov, if you put in adverse childhood experiences or put in mental health, back in my day, I grew up in the 90s, we didn't have internet like that, but they have it now. I think if you go ahead and put that in a search engine, you can get some information because you kind of want to know about the things that people are talking about. We didn't have the discussions about depression. We didn't have the discussions about anxiety, but it's out there. And if you want to know a little bit more about it before you go and ask questions, do your research. So I'm going to let people know now I'm a researcher. I've been a researcher since I was in the 10th grade in high school. You can do your research. So I encourage those who are interested, go to cdc.gov if you're looking for information on adverse childhood experiences. If you're looking for information on mental health in general, I'm always going to advocate for Mental Health of America. I am an advocate for them as well. You can go on their website. Their resources are everything. You can click on the link and all of that is there. They will give you the information about the people in your community. They will give you all the information. So it's very resourceful out there. You just have to get comfortable with saying that. And so I will let you know, this is what I do. I have classes and things of that nature to have people address their mental health. So reach out to me, bevictorious.com, and I can give you some more information.
Very good. Thank you for that. Do we have any more questions out there? We want to take this time to address any questions that any of you may have while we have this amazing mental health activist and advocate with us today. So, yes, so Melvin says, great job, sis. Proud of you. Thank you. Hey, Dion, self-care is so important. I'm glad a lot of Black people are realizing that nowadays.
It is. I do too. And I want us to do more. I want us to talk about it more. I want us to have more of a conversation instead of just saying, oh, okay, this person is sick, or oh, this person is depressed, or oh, this person has anxiety. What is that person doing to receive help? Mm-hmm. And if they don't know about the help, then how can we help them? So there's resources out there, you guys. We have to quit taking this stuff not seriously. It's like, I feel like when it happens, or if it's a famous person in the news, then it becomes the topic or the thing to talk about, when it shouldn't be just that. It should be us addressing it every day. I love Bibi Moore Campbell. She talked about it. She had a daughter that she was advocating for. And now we have every July the Minority Mental Health Month. And so what you all don't know is we don't really celebrate mental health every day, but we should. It doesn't have to necessarily be a day or a month. We can have these conversations every day.
Because the reality is mental health impacts people every day of the year.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
So the beautiful part about the month is that it gives us a reason to pause and to make sure we're acknowledging it and addressing it. Any more questions out there for Dr. Williams before we wrap up this part of the event?
Thank you again. This is an amazing space. So as we talked about amazing spaces, get with some of your people in your community and have that conversation so you can have that space to have this discussion.
Yeah. And would you be open to coming back to the headquarters to have more workshops, more trainings? Because this is a topic that doesn't end today. It doesn't end this month.
It doesn't.
It definitely
I think for me, and I'll be honest, I'm very humbled to be here because I'm not from Dallas. I'm actually from Chicago. So shout out to Chicago, born and raised in Kansas City. And so to have this space to be here, I actually want to connect with a lot of people in the DFW area. So I am going to take the next few months, to be honest, to reach out with some people so we can start having some networking, so we can have some mixers, so we can do this. Because I believe I believe in quality, yes, not quantity.
Yes.
But once we start getting our people together, it's power in numbers.
Generational curses are broken,
yes,
and generational blessings are made.
Yes.
So if you all have followed Speak That Talks over the years, then you know that there's a special portion that we like to do. So I'm going to address this comment question that came up, and then we're going to go on to our favorite part, my favorite part at least, the Speak That Talks 4 pillars speed round. So I want to address the comment that just came up. Nia, what do you do when seeking mental health help is seen as a red flag in your field of work? That's an amazing question. I'll let you address that.
Red flags, they have them on TikTok right now. I think they think it's a trend, but it is so serious, let's be clear. And I'm not trying to be funny. I have to be myself because I think that's what people like the most, but it's not cute at all. Let's be clear. So I'm going to read the question again just to make sure that I'm answering the question. The question is, what do you do when seeking mental health when it is seen as red flags in your field of work? You have to write it down because you don't want to forget it. It's not serious to the person that sees it differently. It has to be you that address that. So it might not be a red flag to someone else, but it's a red flag to you. So you have to let them know that you're serious. I'll give you an example. I had a young man who was very offended by something I said. I wasn't for sure, but I also didn't know his triggers. He identified his trigger after the fact, but it would have been good to know exactly what your triggers are. Those red flags. Know your triggers. You have to know them, because if you don't know them, how does the other person know how to react to you when you're triggered based off of something in your past? So just knowing what the red flags are and knowing what they are for you. Everybody's red flags may not be for that person. It might just be for you. So I say set the tone and do what you need to do in advance before you make that decision and put yourself in a situation where those green flags turn into red flags.
That's good. And I will just add to that, just coming from 18 years of corporate America, even in a workplace, and no matter where you are, mental health needs to be something that your employers consider a priority. Because I don't care what's going on inside of the workplace, but if there's things happening outside of the workplace, we're not living in a world nowadays where you should just have to cut it off. That leads to depression. It leads to suicide. It leads to so much more. It leads to unhappiness in the workplace. So despite the industry, I feel like that might be another thing to think about is, what industry am I in? Who's my employer? And what can I do so that I can be sane in this environment, in this industry? And sometimes it might even be, if we don't see the resources made available, then like Dr. Torie mentioned, finding those support groups or those people who can help us get through perhaps that journey or that chapter or that experience that we're dealing with, where we can't talk to the people in the workplace, but we have to talk to other people.
And I think it's important for us to understand workplace, that includes schools. Our youth are struggling so bad, and we're so wanting to put our kids back into school after being out. We don't realize how much of the impact that being out years had an impact on our students as well. We're not talking about mental health in the schools. We're not, and we need to. I will share this story because I'm always sharing the story. You have to share stories in order to get the acceptance and get the help. So I'll say this. When I moved to Dallas, I really did not realize until I got down here how much of an impact that had on my daughters. And so instead of saying, because back in the day, go pray or go sit down or go mind your business, I actually had a talk with them. And I'm happy to say, yes, my daughters actually have a therapist. They all three have different therapists because I think that is so important. I can't be everywhere. I can't just be mom. I just can't be this. And it's always good to have somebody else to talk to help you. And so, yes, unfortunately, it's therapy is not just for adults. Therapy is for children too.
Very good. We actually had an organization here yesterday, Stand for Sisterhood, and they are having their Diamonds in the Rough summer camp this week. So they have about 16, close to 20 young teenagers who are in a camp, and they came here yesterday to experience a mental health awareness workshop where we created public service announcements. And I'm only saying this because of this point that you just made. These were teenage girls, age 10 to 17, 16 years old. And they, at that age, were talking about topics that I don't even know if I was thinking about back then.
The generation is different now.
Yes. So I would say that to say, even if it's the young people, these young girls were talking about things that they're experiencing, their self-confidence. And they even brought up how when they're learning about mental health, they now understand what their parents are going through.
Right. Because generational trauma is there.
That's it.
Yes.
That's
and
it.
I think that's something that we're not addressing, and we have to. And that's the reason why I think it's so powerful to become a cycle breaker, be a cycle breaker. I didn't think that I was being a cycle breaker. I just know I didn't want to go through what my parents experienced. I also know and realize that what they experienced was not their fault. They were young. They didn't know certain things. And so when I was young, I didn't know certain things. And it's like, okay, this wasn't my fault. Okay, my parents' divorce wasn't my fault. This wasn't me. I had to do what I have to do. But think about it. There's people out there that actually think that this is what it is. So education is key, you guys. It's key to so much. It can help so much.
That's true. Well, any other questions? If not, you know how to reach her. Tell them again, how do they reach you if they have more questions?
All right. VicTORIEus.com is up there. That is my website. I have plenty of information up there. I have a podcast too, which is interesting. So shout out to my 12 from the beginning of my podcast. I'm actually going to be starting the podcast again. I have a waiting list already of people that are willing to share their story about how they're becoming or they're overcoming their adverse childhood experiences. So I'm excited about it.
Very good. So as we wrap up our portion with Dr. Williams, we have to do the infamous Speak That Talk speed round. So I know some of you are familiar with this. If you are, please join in. This is interactive. So the 4 pillars of Speak That movement are dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. So, Dr. Torie, one by one, in as few words as possible, I want you to help empower and inspire our audience as they're thinking about their mental health journey. Okay. So, Speak That movement pillar number 1. What would you say to the woman, the man, or the child who's thinking about mental health when it comes to dream it?
Think of me. I am a first generation high school graduate. I didn't sign up for that at all. If I knew that that was what was going on, then I would have done something different. But when it came time to going back to school, going back to get those degrees, I did it because I dreamed it. I believed it. Anybody that knows me, when I went to school, shout out to Central Missouri State University, I got a degree in psychology, and I didn't know at the time that you needed to have a little bit more education for a psychology degree. And so as I journeyed through life and did what I had to do and went to school because I like school, when I picked my topic for my doctorate degree, I chose a topic that was near and dear to me that I was passionate about. And surprise, surprise, it was mental health and addressing adverse childhood experiences through extracurricular activity, because that's what saved my life.
Wow. Well, there you go. Dream big.
Absolutely.
Speak that movement pillar number 2. Believe it.
Okay, personal story. I have been the CEO of VicTORIEus since 2021. A part of me wanted to go back into education because education last year just started back up. And I'll be totally honest, pray for education, because if you want to know why education is what it is, we have people that are in these positions that really don't want growth. They don't want the opportunity. They don't want this. They just want to do what they need to do. They're not helping or addressing our youth at all. And so I am back here again, believing that I can do this on my own. And so believe it. I believe it. I am a CEO of my own business. I do entrepreneurships for my mentees. And I have mentees out here right now that don't not only have created their own businesses, but they're advocating for mental health as well. So shout out to it's a couple of them out there. You all know who you are. They are actually advocating and helping me address not only mental health, but adverse childhood experiences.
Got it. I love it. So now let's speak to the audience. This is for them. The next pillar is speaking.
Talk
so to
about
the audience.
What's your story? Because everybody has a story. So what's your story? Not someone else's story. Think about the experiences that you've been through, your testimony, the things that have shaped you to become a better person. Speak it out and say it into existence, because somebody else is going to see it and they're going to say, okay, their story is just like mine. Here I go with another story. I am a dissertation coach. I'm a dissertation coach because somebody believed in me. And once I got my degree, said, well, help me. So guess what I do? I help people not only with life coaching, but I do dissertation coaching as well. And I have a lot of people, I'll be honest, more than my hands, that have received their doctorate degree through my coaching. So if it's something that you really want to do, you got to speak this into existence. We're living in a time where if God brings us to it, he'll bring us through it. So you have to do what you need to do for you.
I love it. And now the final pillar, and I'm going to make this one special because, again, we have people on from all over the country. I saw Illinois, I saw Dallas, I saw Atlanta, I saw different states. So when we think about walking and we think about Mental Health Awareness Month for minorities, and we think about walking, what can you say to the people? Address them directly as they think about their mental health journey and walking it.
Help me, help others. Because it's not just me out here. It is not just you out here. We are out here. Think about the people that didn't make it. Think about the people that had the opportunity, but they didn't have the education. We have to be the people that come out and educate and do what they have to do, especially our youth, because our youth need it. I love our adults, I do, but our youth need it so bad, because as you see, this generation is a little different. But I feel like if they had somebody to mentor, guide them, and motivate them in the right direction, they could walk it like they talk it.
I love it. Walk it like talking. Walk it like it's talking. Well, there you have it, you all.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Torie Williams with the mental health address. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're amazing.
All right.
And I'll be back.
She'll be back. She'll be back. She'll be back. We have an announcement to make soon about her. She'll be back.
Thank you.
All right. So as we wrap up today's event, I want to bring up another special person who's a part of the Speak That Movement team. So this person is our current executive board member. She has been with Speak That Movement since Speak That Movement became a nonprofit organization. Her and Javon Martin are the original board members that I thank every day, because if it wasn't for them and their support, as well as others out there, then we would have just been an organization just doing things. But now we're an award-winning nonprofit 501c3 organization. So help me welcome Miss Lanita to the platform.
Hey, Miss Lanita.
All right.
Hello. Great job, Dr. Torie. Great job, Dr. Torie. So glad to have you on tonight, and you spoke all of that.
Thank you.
So excited, glad to be that you were able to be a part and share the nuggets tonight. As you see, the questions were coming, the engagement is there. And so this is a hot topic. And I know yesterday was also National Self-Care Day. And so talking about taking the self-care and doing some of the things that you talked about as far as the cooking, the yoga, the dancing, the walking, whatever it is, the journaling, whatever it is that you have that's, for you, because what's good for me may not be good for the next person.
Correct.
So that is amazing to be able to have. And everything that you talked about is feedback. She talked about starting the conversation. That's one of our pillars. That's one of the things that we focus on. That's part of our mission is, mental health awareness and talking about mental health, having a conversation, having a place. Now that Speak That movement is down there in the headquarters of TRPR Networks, we are on and popping. So there's a space and a place, and there's a community center there. And as you see it being done today, and as well as yesterday, the young ladies coming in to be able to speak about their public service announcements. The earlier that we start, you can start, elementary school. As you know, that the schools, the educators, it's tough for educators out there. And mental health and emotional learning standards, that is a part of your child's curriculum. If you don't know it, get with it and understand it and know what your child has the ability to do within the schools. Advocate for those services. Advocate. You're going to be your child's greatest advocate. And then them themselves. I love our new generations. Those individuals coming in strong and empowered, and they tell you what they need and they go for it. So great job on those young ladies yesterday. And just speak that in itself. We out here doing it. So as you know, an organization cannot be what it is without that little change coming in. So we need all the support to continue to be able to support the young ladies. We do volunteer work, and as she noted on the volunteers, I'm not in Dallas at this time. I started off in Dallas, but I'm not in Dallas at this time, and I still volunteer. We have a partnership with individuals in Illinois as far as Girls Speak That. We've partnered with Jewel Foundation. So we are not just in Dallas. We're not just in Illinois. We plan to be all over, not just within the United States, but international. We've had some international partnerships as well. So what we do, we can't do without you, all of your support today. Being here today is a great opportunity for you to learn and see, if you haven't been a part in the past, what we do and what we're about. We're about women in business. We're about as far as mental health and social justice. So all of those things that were shared was out here today. CEO of Be VicTORIEus. That's a woman that is in power. She had a dream. She fulfilled it. So that's a woman. And she also is talking about mental health. And she also talked about social justice, the things that we need to do for our own families, for our kids. So all of that in a nutshell today. So again, speakthatmovement.com. You can go to give. We would love that. And if you want to volunteer, come spend your time within the organization. Come on down, go on down. Like I say, you can do some things virtually. There's so much with technology today. There's so much that can be done. So no excuses. We love it. Coming forward. So
yes. And help me show love to Miss Lanita. For those that know, Speak That started in Illinois and is not ending in Illinois. So no matter where you are, as she mentioned, it's time to grow. It's time to grow. We have women and we have young people who need our help, mental health. And we even heard from Miss Arleen Robertson earlier, social injustices. It's on the rise. And this is not just a Black person thing. This is not just a minority effort. I want to make that very clear. We love all people and we support all people. But we would be wrong if we didn't recognize that we are disproportionately impacted in certain communities. So we're here for all people. It doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter where you're from. So again, this is our ask. If you are interested in helping us with this movement, please go to speakthatmovement.com. Yeah. Go to contact us. I'm going to even give you a phone number. Text 214-210-2177 and say, hey, I want to be a part of Speak That movement.
Yes.
Yes. So as we get ready to close out, I just want to give a shout out to the people in the room and our live audience. We have a live audience here. Shout out to everybody there. Our VIP guests, shout out to you all and everybody out there. I need you to put up, I want to see one more time before we wrap up. We have 4 minutes. I want to see who's out there. I saw some names and I saw some cities. Again, hello, Karen, representing Peoria, Illinois. Who else is out there? Hello, Mel, representing Dallas. Hey, Mel. Hello, Jackie, representing Atlanta. Hello, D. King, representing Chi-Town. Hello, Colleen, our former executive board member who is one of the most dedicated volunteers for this organization, Arleen Robertson, here in Dallas, Texas. Hello, Betty Evans, representing Rockford, Illinois. Hello, India Robertson, the sister of Devari and the daughter of Miss Arleen and the co-star of the Speak Their Stories, representing Houston, Texas, by way of New Orleans. You know we love you, India. Hello, Janine Johnson, representing Dallas by way of Illinois. What's up? You shout out your sister.
Hey, Kiana.
Hello, Kiana, representing Tampa. Oh, thank you so much, Tashana. Tashana is in Illinois right now. Who else do we have out there? Thank you so much, Anita. Yes, that's for you, girl. Yes. So everybody else that's out there, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Again, thank you for popping in. And if we could conclude today's segment, we just want to encourage you, and we'll go around the room. But I will start with Dr. Torie with any final words to encourage our listeners.
I just want people to share their story. Just share your story. You're going to engage people in the conversation once you just have that discussion. It's okay to have the conversation about mental health, and it's okay to share your story.
I love it. Miss Lanita, final words?
Dr. Torie done did it. So, I mean, there's not much more for me to say after that. So, she talked about sharing that story, keeping the conversations going. For us as minorities that are on the call and those that are not, for us, as you said, it's across all generations, it's across all cultures, it is, we all experience. And so just being mindful of continuing to work on you, and then being able to, have some of that self-care time, whatever your self-care time is, make sure that you do that for you. You owe it to yourself. Self-care is not selfish, it is necessary.
I love that. Self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. So again, I just want to tell you, dream it. We're living in a dream right now. Believe it. Believe in yourself. Even if you're dealing with mental health, it is okay. Believe that you can get out of it. Believe that you can overcome it. Whatever it is that's holding you down. And I'm talking from a place of experience, whether it's in the workplace, as an entrepreneur, being a leader, being an auntie, a parent, a child, whatever it is you are in your life. Just believe that you can make it through all situations. And you don't have to feel like you have to make it through alone. Find those people that you can trust to help you get through. Speak it. Speak things into existence. There's power in your words. Speak life over yourself. Use your own words to get you out of situations and to help others get out of theirs. And walk it. Walk it. Walk it as if you're already healed. Walk it as if your bank account is fat. Walk it as if your business is already out there. Walk it as if you are sane. Walk it as if you have no trauma. You have no drama. Walk it as if you're a wife, you're a husband, a mother, or whatever it is you desire to be in life. Walk it. Because we have to remember God's got our back. Amen. So again, thank you so much. If you would love to support this organization on the path that we're on, please visit us, Cash App. Please visit us, PayPal. Please go to the website, speakthatmovement.com. And if you're interested in joining this journey, it's an incredible journey. I'm going to shout out this person one more time. Shout out to Dr. Frederick Haynes. I mentioned him earlier. Dr. Frederick Haynes is about to take this country on a ride that we need to go on. As our new president and CEO of the Rainbow Push Coalition, and let's take this back to another example. Chicago. Okay? Speak That Movement's roots are in Illinois. And now we're about to have a stronger presence of the Rainbow Push Coalition in Dallas. We want to support Pastor Haynes. We want to support Rainbow Push Coalition and all these other organizations. So we need people to help speak that movement to do more in the community. On that note, shout out to Javon Martin, who's in the building with iFree Productions. And everybody out there, we love you. We thank you. So as we close out, we're going to work our way to the end for our final tour of the facility. And we thank you. We love you. And may God bless you.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I like that. Yes. All right. So, we're going to come back. C-suite. Oh. So this is where we want to inspire people.
Nice.
We want to remind people good things come and those who hustle. Grow where you're planted. Words are powerful.
So if I needed to use this space, I can actually use this space.
And if anybody out there was looking for a space to use, you can definitely reach out to Tiara PR Network, because we have this space for community members who want to come here, host a workshop, host a training, host a community event. So we're going to keep going. And it's all about celebrating.
Yes.
All about celebrating. And this is...
Take me here.
Yes. You know, if we think about, it's about being happy.
Yes.
I like it. It's about,
I just came back from Miami, so I understand. I get it.
it's about seizing the day. So, beach house vibes.
I like this.
Yes. So, we're going to keep going. So, this is the beach suite. This is the room where we encourage people to wake, pray, and slay all day. We remind people, work hard, stay humble. So this is a room where if you're own your own salon, or you need to come here and you're dropping into Dallas, you have a photo shoot, you can come here. So this is where women and men, mental health goes to another level, because when you feel good and you look good, you do good.
So for all those people that are in the Chicagoland area or in an area that need a place to come, they can come in this area right here.
Sure can.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So here's the VIP lounge.
Nice.
Yeah. So one thing about this space is this is a reminder, and this is a mental health reminder. A lot of times in life, we think about the things in life will make us happy. Trust me, it's not the things. Things will not make you happy. Things might have a role in your happiness, but it's so much more to life than the things. We have red bottoms, Louis, Gucci, all that. That's great. We have the throne chairs, but the reminder that we want to give people is more. God, prayer, whatever it is that you need. So if you have to escape or take your breaks in life, take your breaks in life, but just know that it's more than the things in life that will bring you happiness. Dig deep. Search deep. Yeah.
I like this a lot.
And then we're going to go in this room real quick.
Eating area. Love it.
So we really believe in the power of people coming together. So if you come together, like, community means everything. And just being around people who make you want to be open, or make you, feel like you're in a safe space. So we just want to encourage people to, just take the time. And that time might be by yourself. That time might be gathering amongst other people, a support group, or whatever it might be. But just know that you're not in this alone. And if you need help, we're here to help you.
Bloom where you're planted.
Bloom where you are planted. And last, make sure you walk by faith. All right, so that concludes today's Speak That Movement event. We want to thank you for being a part of today's session. Dr. Torie Williams, thank you
No, thank you.
for what you did. So again, stay tuned for more Speak That Movement events.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.